In the ring, his every boast came true. The soon-to-be Muhammad Ali shook up the world.
I predict that by the end of 1963, I will be the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
Beating Sonny Liston to take his title in 1964.
That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring. Joe,
he goes through contender after contender in high style with dazzling ability. In 1967, Muhammad Ali refuses to be drafted to go fight in Vietnam.
If I recall correctly, you said you were the people's champion?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that you're acting like a people's champion?
Yes, sir.
He's stripped of his title, which leads to a 3-year legal battle that keeps him out of the ring. We lost 3 years of genius and 58,000 American lives. As always, click that like button and subscribe to stay up to the minute on all sweet science. The same year Ali appears on Esquire, covered in the slings and arrows of fate.
For my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing Elijah Muhammad and the religion of Islam. I'm ready to die.
George Foreman appears in Mexico City, covered in red, white, blue, and gold. While some raised fists, George waved flags. He was a street kid from Houston who put his tremendous physique to work, committing muggings before learning how the world and boxing worked in Job Corps. He won gold after only 2 years of training, mostly because he could punch through a car door like it's cardboard. Ali makes his return, having won his Supreme Court case. He shook up the world again, this time on his back.
I predict that when I meet Joe Frazier, this will be like a good amateur fighting a real professional.
Losing the legendary fight of the century to Joe Frazier, who put in a supernatural performance.
Coming up for round 13.
Ali's comeback was stopped in its tracks.
So I'll just do better next time. I think I played too much with Joe Frazier. I played 3 rounds I shouldn't have played. I didn't stay on my feet and move like I should have. But at the time I hadn't won my draft case, and then one black man in the $1 million bracket who tells it like it is and stays with his own kind, naturally they're gonna pick the best boy to give it to him.
Frazier posted a pair of defenses before Big George reared his big head. George had trained with Sonny Liston, developed not only his slugging style, but also his quiet menace and distaste for the media. Frazier was a huge favorite going into their fight in 1973. Under the Jamaican sun, Joe Frazier ran right into George Foreman. Like a Pontiac wrapped around an oak tree, the crushing power of George's uppercut lifted Frazier off his feet. After 6 knockdowns in just 2 rounds, there was a new champion. After Ali's loss to Frazier, he goes on an 8-fight win streak. But the showy elegance that once marked his style was fading. The blazing speed of hand and foot began to wane. Ali meets his match in Ken Norton. In the first fight, Ken's counter-jabbing proved poison to Ali's style. Norton broke Ali's jaw. They would rematch after Ali healed, though able to edge a split decision the second time around. It was Norton who got the first crack at Foreman's title. Unlike the swarming Frazier, Ken tried to run. George Foreman fought Norton the way Michael Myers kills teenagers. Unlike that monster, George was thinking through the destruction and dominance. He kept reaching his palm out to catch Ken's jab and took his best tool away from him. George's brilliant ring cutting got him into range and kept him there. Within minutes, Ken is lost on his feet as the referee saves him.
Foreman is being off, and his legs are rubbery, and the left hand goes to the side of that. A right uppercut, a left jab, and all vicious for the 5. Like, I don't know if George can make it. It might be all over right here, and it is all over. George Foreman.
The fight had to be made. In slithers Don King, who gets a signature from each man on a contract promising Ali and Foreman $5 million apiece to fight for him. Problem was, Don King did not have $10 million. He contacts a representative of the newly formed nation of Zaire. It was a former Belgian colony where pretty much any disobedience meant losing a limb. The nation of Zaire agreed to host the event and pay all the expenses. Zaire didn't care for George Foreman. It was hard enough just being Muhammad Ali's opponent, but it was George's cold demeanor, an unfortunate pet choice, sealed the deal. The Belgians used German shepherds as police dogs during their colonial reign of terror. So when George's dog joins him at the press conference, he turned the whole country of Zaire against him. While George brooded, Ali was in the process of inventing hip-hop with his rhythmic creative bragging.
If you think I whoop Sonny Liston, you wait till I get George Foreman. He talks too much, he's ugly, he's pretending I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'm gonna show them all they're wrong because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me.
Fast. Last night I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark.
Every morning, Ali was joined on his runs with locals not far behind, chanting what translates to Ali kill him. 60,000 in attendance cheered him on. Ali knew none of those people were in there to help him. He shouted at George like a man trying to shoo a bear out of his yard. Ali was a 4-1 underdog. As George's robe was peeled off of him, even Ali looks like he understood why. Ali did what nobody expected, came out throwing heat with his lead right hand. Ali would move and dance before smashing in lead rights before settling into the clinch. Every clinch came with words as sharp as his punches. Nobody talked smack to Foreman. Nobody laughed long enough to. But as Ali sat in his corner, he winked at the monster across the ring. Ali knew what he had to do. Angelo Dundee hated the idea, but Ali knew the rope-a-dope was his only option. The soft canvas was tiring to dance on, and George was a hell of a ring cutter. So Ali put his back to the ropes, committed to finding clean counters while clinching to wear Foreman down. With any landed punch, Ali pulled George in and spoke his poison. Foreman did the worst thing a fighter can. He had bought into his own hype. He thought Ali would be gone in minutes, like all the others were. While George couldn't land a clean shot upstairs, he was absolutely caving in Ali's ribcage. Ali grabs George and asks the question that unraveled him. "Is that all you got, George?" George would confirm later it was indeed all he had.
Tried to pull a sneaky right hand on Ali. Ali hanging on, getting away. Left hand, taking him inside. Ali hardest that he is. Who knows what might happen as the rounds continue. In round number 7.
The rounds wore on, and the puncher devolves into wild flailing. By round 8, George was tired.
You, George Foreman, all you chumps are gonna bow when I whip him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him, Dick. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
This was the wrong place to get tired. After landing the final right hand, Ali, rather than destroying the aesthetics of what was happening, chose to just watch. His right hand cocked back the entire time. The old soldier, on one last suicide run, had managed to pull off the impossible. The hero's funeral had been called off.